Hello YouTube, it's me again, back with another video, and this one is a bit of a story time for you guys. So, as you may have read from the title, this one is about being cheated out of one of my stories, and it's something that I've been incredibly frustrated about for a while now, and I just sort of feel like I want to talk about it, and so I'm gonna do that. I don't mean to necessarily slander the app in question. I will be naming them. But I don't necessarily think that it's a bad app. I just think that the way they handled this particular situation was pretty rude. So, I would say over a year and a half ago, I started using a cell phone-based app called Hooked. So I know some of you will already know what Hooked is. It's become kind of a popular trend on YouTube to read through Hooked stories, and I think that's pretty cool. So basically, what happened is eventually, I don't remember how long ago this was, Hook updated and it enabled its readers to create stories. And as someone who loves writing, I was immediately intrigued, and I decided to take a story that I had written way earlier on in a text-based format and use it on Hooked and post it there. And unexpectedly, a lot of people liked it. And so I thought to myself, well, how could I continue this story? And eventually I had so many parts. I had created a several episode series, actually 2 of them. And one was called Jinn and the other was called Genie. Jinn had 21 episodes and Genie, let me check, had 36 published episodes and is still, at this very moment, not finished. So these weren't just short little stories, things that I could just kind of go, oh, well, it sucks, but, you know, if I lose them, I lose them. So, a couple months ago, I want to say, Hooked announced that they would no longer be featuring reader-submitted stories, and they were giving readers until the end of the month to download their story, and if they failed to do so, their story would be deleted. So, I was pretty upset. I went through and I downloaded my story, and I was thinking to myself, well, how am I going to continue this story? People aren't going to be able to find me. So, I got back on my Wattpad account, which I had not looked at in so long, and so I started copying all of my episodes verbatim, based on the script that I was given when I downloaded, into Wattpad. And so I finished uploading all of Jinn and started uploading Genie, but something didn't quite sit right. I really wanted to continue with the text format. And I remembered that they had an application to become an official writer on Hooked. So I looked to see if they still did, and sure enough, you could still apply. So I decided to toss my hat into the ring, and I sent an email. But I also decided to send an email to the support staff, and I will read you a little bit of that email. I said, hello. On Hooked, I've been posting stories such as Jinn, Genie, Dolls, and more. Genie and Dolls, in particular, are unfinished. I was told that these stories are going to be deleted, and I have no way of alerting my 400-plus followers who have been loyally reading the story for almost 2 years that my stories will be discontinued, and that I intend to take them to another platform. I would absolutely love to continue writing for Hooked. It would mean I wouldn't lose the formatting of my existing stories, and that the money put in by several of my readers wouldn't go to waste. I cannot, however, abide by knowing that several of my readers have paid into the app exclusively to read my stories, and money will have been wasted because the stories are incomplete. So that may have sounded a little bit arrogant, but I actually had people tell me that the only reason they bought a subscription to eliminate the barriers on reading so they could get caught up on my stories. And I was thrilled to hear it. Absolutely, positively thrilled to hear it. So when I was told my stories would be deleted and I couldn't tell anyone, I was pretty upset. At first, I just got a, classic support email, with a bunch of, commonly asked questions. And so I kind of figured that was it. And I was disappointed, but I tried my best. I went into the comments of every single one of my stories and posted something like, hey, I'll be on Wattpad if you want to finish the story. And it was arduous and time-consuming, but I did it. And then one day, I got an email. Hey, Gabby. Thank you for taking the time to reach out to us. We read through the stories you've published on Hooked thus far, think they're great, and are excited to be keeping them in the app. Moving forward, I'd be happy to update any of the existing stories you have with episodes you've written or envisioned in order to make them complete. So, I was thrilled. Needless to say, completely and utterly thrilled. And I started writing again. I started writing the episodes and I was preparing to get them all done when suddenly my health kind of took a turn for the worse. And that's something that you guys saw on the channel. I kind of dropped off the face of the earth for a little while. And it's something I talked about very briefly in my videos. So, I didn't have much to say. So I went to try and email some of my stories and decided to look on, honestly, a whim on the app to see if people were commenting on my stories. And all of a sudden, I discovered my stories no longer existed. Hooked had said that they were going to keep the stories, and had said that they would, under no pretenses, delete them. But when I looked in the app and had friends and family look in the app, the stories were gone. All of them. So I was understandably pretty upset. So I sent an email to the same woman that I've been talking to. Let's see if I can find that thread real quick. I know I still have it. Aha. So, I sent her an email, and I asked why I couldn't find my stories anymore. I asked if it was a glitch, or if they were going to discontinue my stories. I wanted to know if they had dropped the stories so that I could move forward. And they never responded. It's now been several months, and I've still received no response. No one has told me why my stories were dropped, what they intend to do with the stories that they have, or how I can update anyone on the stories I continue to write. So far, I have received no confirmation one way or another that my story was even deleted. I have no idea if they still have my story, or what they intend to do with it. And there's nothing I can do to stop them. So that was something that I was really frustrated about, and it's something that I felt like I wanted to share. So I'm in no way saying that Hooked is a bad app, or that this experience was indicative of everyone who works there, but the people that I was in contact with cheated me and made me feel very small. And so I wanted to talk about that and see what you guys think. So if you guys have any insights, please let me know in the comments down below. That being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, time of day, and I will catch you on the flip side.